asking you questions about before you were at Malvern.
Okay.
So the first one is, where did you grow up?
I grew up in West Philadelphia.
However, Mr. Sample's parents did not pick Malvern for him. After looking at several different schools, he decided Malvern would be the best fit for him. What school did you attend before you came to Malvern?
I attended Waldron Academy.
Who's your favorite teacher while you were at Malvern?
My favorite teacher when I was at Malvern, I would probably say if I had to pick one, it would have been Father Flynn.
Did you start Malvern in 6th grade, or was it?
No, I started Malvern in 9th grade. The 7th and 8th grade came along during my junior year, and then 6th grade was added later. What were you involved in at Malvern? I was involved in primary athletics. I was a football player, basketball, and tennis. I also think I did 1 year of student government, and I was a mathlete, believe it or not.
Which teachers or adults on campus influenced you or inspired you while on Malvern?
I would probably have to say, outside of the obvious ones being the teachers here and just all the knowledge that they shared and the education value. In the community, my parents, mother and father, my godfather, Sonny Hill, was also a big influence. As well as just my classmates, not only those that came to Malvern with me from Waldron, but also friends in the neighborhood and friends from Waldron as well.
What year did you graduate?
1981.
Okay. Who are some of your friends from your class at Malvern?
Guys there was a handful of guys that we still keep pretty close touch with. John Williamson, Richard Chikazian, Bob DeMarco, Steve Sullivan, Vic DiCenzo, who later went on to work at Malvern. There's Kevin Bradley. Wow, just like too many to name. There's just a handful of names.
Do you still keep in touch with any of them today?
All of those guys, yes, absolutely.
Although Barkley Sample never pursued a career in basketball, was a 1,000-point scorer at Malvern and is on the Wall of Fame. However, did try to pursue a career in football, like his father.
His father, Johnny Sample, was a big inspiration on his sports career.
What do you remember most about Mr. Sample?
What do I remember most about Mr. Sample? I would say, I'm not guessing, I would say that his, the way he interacted with all his classmates, he treated everybody the same. I've never heard him down another student, talk about another student. He was always very positive. He was very positive with faculty. If he saw you somewhere, he would cross the room to shake your hand. Very mature. Very mature for being a high school student. He could communicate and hold a conversation with any adult.
Tell us your favorite story about Mr. Sample.
Well, this is sort of a story about Mr. Sample. I remember back in, I'm guessing it was 1978, my first year at Malvern, and it was around February, and there was a game up in Doherty Hall, which was our main gym at the time. That was the big gymnasium. The athletic director was not at the basketball game. I was. And Mr. Sample's father was starting to get a little bit rambunctious in the stands. He was being very vocal against, the other team, and Very supportive of Malvern's team, but just was very vocal where people around him were sort of like changing their seats. I was told that I had to go up and ask Mr. Sample to calm down a little bit, or else we would have to ask him to leave. And I didn't want to ask him to leave because he was a lot bigger than me and a lot tougher than me. So it was a pretty funny situation. But I vaguely remember Barkley going up to him and asking his dad to calm down a little bit, in which case he did. So I thank Barkley for doing that, because there's no way I was going to kick his father out of the gym. No way.
Mr. Sample made many friends at Malvern, such as Mr. Duda, Mr. Miller, and Mr. Wasson. However, he would never expect that during his junior year summer. However, he would not expect that during the summer of his junior year that one of his closest friends would die in a boating accident. This motivated him, and it also helped his football team win the Interact Championship.
Did you attend college?
I did.
Where?
Brown University.
Were you involved in anything in college?
I was in a fraternity, Kappa Sigma, and I also played football there.
When you played football, was that like a scholarship thing?
More or less. At that time, the Ivy Leagues didn't give you athletic scholarships, but they gave you money through grants and stuff, so it sort of amounted to the same thing as a scholarship.
What position were you in football?
I played defensive back. I played cornerback for 1 year, and I played strong safety for 2 years.
What do you do now?
Right now, I am the business office director for a skilled nursing facility by the name of Broomall Rehab in Broomall, Pennsylvania.
Do you have a family?
I do. I have a son, 23, just graduated from Villanova last spring of 18. And then all my family's still local. My mom, sister and her family, and then I have 4 nieces and nephews.
Did your son play any sports?
My son played soccer competitively all through high school, including doing some travel team, and played year-round, played indoor leagues in the winter. Did that for about 10 years, and then when he made his choice of colleges, he looked at playing but decided not to, so he did not play in college.
How has Malvern influenced you since your graduation?
Well, that list of 6 or 7 guys I mentioned, again, have been lifetime friends since the time that we entered Malvern together in 1977. A couple of guys I listed I went to Waldron with, so I've been friends with them since 1970. So just the camaraderie, the brotherhood of those guys. Obviously the lessons I learned here preparing me for college and beyond. So Malvern's been extremely influential in my development, both as a young man and through adulthood, and that's why I stay so close to the school and try to give back at every opportunity that I can.
Do you think you made the right choice going to Malvern?
No question.
Thank you for your time. I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you.
While Barkley Sample was a student at Malvern, Father Flynn was one of the priests. Barkley Sample was a very religious man, so we got to know Father Flynn very well throughout the days.
What are your favorite memories about Mr. Sample?
Well, one of the favorite memories I have of Mr. Sample is not from his student days here. It's the way he takes care of the people in his class right now, keeping in touch with them. If somebody gets sick, he lets the school know about it so that we can pray for him. His loyalty to the school, his loyalty to his classmates, talk about brotherhood, he's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Takes care of people.
When you first met him, did you think he'd become like a basketball star as he was?
Not when I first met him, but by the time he was a sophomore or junior, yeah, it was clear to me that he was well above average.
Sometimes I think that I know what love's all